You can start by trying this problem. It was given to you. I just gave you the problems late. Um, Try this one. These ones here today are all going to deal with units on the top and the bottom. So we'll get some practice in with those. We're only going to do 4 problems and we're going to call it a day. I will not talk with you Monday because it is, was it virtual field day? Whatever that's supposed to mean. I'm not in charge of it. I didn't have anything to do with it. So whatever you're doing then is what you're doing Monday. And then I'll be back on Tuesday. So I'm going to go hide. I'll give you a second to do that. And then I'll come back. No, there's nothing wrong. It's not 120 yet, so I didn't start. But you can start by giving this one a shot. Again, it's dimensional analysis. Same thing we've been doing all week. Hopefully we're getting really good at it. I'll start in a couple minutes here once it hits 120 and people start showing up. If you didn't look it up already, things you need to know is miles to kilometers, which I did give you a sheet to look up. This one actually gives it, you could also use your book, it gives the reverse. It tells you 1 kilometer equals 0.62 miles. So you need that information, or you could use what the book gives you. I think your book tells you 1 mile equals so many kilometers. But either way, it's going to work. Yeah, you could also use, I think your book says 1 mile equals 1.61 kilometers. Either one of these will work. Homework? No, I was hoping to do it in class today. I don't think I have it set to be homework. I think we're just going to do some practice today. I mean, it says turn in, but I think it's... You can follow along. You don't have to turn it in. I don't know if I set it so everybody gets a copy or not. I'm not going to grade it for homework. I'm just going to assume you're going to follow along. These are going to be a little bit more in-depth than yesterday because these are going to deal with things on the top and the bottom both times. So give this one a shot. Again, you're going to use one of these two things. It really doesn't matter which one you use. They are both the conversion factor. It's just one is going from technically the unit rate for kilometers and one is the unit rate for miles here. Well, this is kilometers per 1 mile and this is miles per 1 kilometer. They're the same thing. They're the same conversion factor. It's just one is written differently than the other. Should we take notes? Yeah, you should take notes. I mean, it's basically going to be me. Hey, here's a problem. Give it a shot, then we'll go over it. So take your time to do this one and see if your answer is going to match what I get. I'm just giving you a couple minutes here to work on it, and then we'll go over it. If you finish that one, you can go on to the next one, which was that problem, whatever that problem is. I don't know. Something about traveling. Yeah, there's not much context in the next one. So pulling this out to work on this one right here, this here is your given. That's your given. So we are going to pull that out right away and write it as a fraction. This is going to be 97 kilometers for every 102 minutes. So it's going to look like that. We haven't really seen something like this yet, I don't think. But again, it is a speed. So your speed is written as kilometers per minute here. So you know kilometers will be on top, minutes will be on the bottom. 97 goes with kilometers, 102 goes with minutes. This is what is given. This is your given information. It's asking you to take kilometers per minute. So it's asking you to go from kilometers per minute and make that miles per hour. So you want to take kilometers to miles and minutes to hours. That's fine, Evie. It's right here. You're allowed to. Boom. I have it written down already. You can use either one of these. Doesn't really matter. Whatever one you're more comfortable with, that will work. So over here, your next fraction, depending on what you want to do first. Do you want to change minutes to hours first, or if you want to change kilometers to miles first? It doesn't matter which order you put these in because you're multiplying them and it's going to be commutative. Order doesn't matter here anyways. So let's just start with the top and get rid of kilometers first, and we'll do what Evie did. Evie used 1 kilometer is 0.62 miles. So now kilometers are going to cancel, and I'm going to get miles per minute. Again, I want to compare it to miles per hour, so I got to get rid of minutes. And you'll note that the top has miles. I want to keep miles, so I don't want to put miles on the bottom here because that's the last unit I want. But the bottom has minutes, and I want to get rid of minutes and make it hours. So minutes will go on top, in this case, to cancel out. And then hours will go on the bottom. And you should know off the top of your head how many minutes are in an hour. But if you don't, look it up. There are 60 minutes in 1 hour. Now you'll see kilometers are canceling. Minutes are canceling. I got a top minute and bottom minute. In the end, miles will be on top. Hours will be on the bottom. So when I do my multiplication, I'm taking 97 times 0.62 times 60. 60, and I'm getting 360 or 3,600, 8.4 miles. And they do that in 102 hours. So in 102 hours, she's going this much distance. We want this as its unit rate, so we want to divide this and make it so it's per 1 hour. And then once we get that, we're going to compare it to 75. If it was more than 75, she deserves a ticket. If it was less than 75, she does not deserve a ticket. So we're going to answer the first part. What is her average speed? Her average speed is going to be the division of this. So we're going to take that, divide it by, what is that, 102. And her average speed is 35 miles per hour. And that is very, very much less than your 65 miles per hour here. So this here is her speed. Right? And does she deserve a ticket? No, she was going much less than the speed limit. In fact, it's borderline being dangerously less than the speed limit because it is dangerous to drive slower than the speed limit at times too. So depending on where she is, hopefully she got there safe. Just to see if it'll work, let's try it with this conversion ratio instead. So we'll set up the same way. 97 kilometers in 102 minutes. That's going to be multiplied to get kilometers gone. In this case, we're going to use 1.61 kilometers and 1 mile. So now kilometers are canceled. Don't forget about getting rid of our minutes. And that conversion factor is not canceled. So kilometers will cancel, minutes will cancel. I'll be left with miles on top and hours on the bottom. Let's see how well this works out. 97 times 60 gives us 5820 over 102 times 1.61 gives us 164.22. Divide those 5820 divided by 164.22, and hopefully we're getting something close. That's not division. 52820 divided by 164.22, and we're getting approximately 35.4 miles per hour, which is pretty close. Again, these are technically approximations. They are not actually equal because you're going between different systems. 102 over 7.2 hours. 102, is that miles? I'm not exactly sure what you did there, Eli. 102 miles over 7.2 hours. I'm not sure what you did there. That's minutes. Well, then you got minutes over hours. 7.2 is 7 point, no, because 102 minutes is not 7.2 hours. Oh, 1.7. You might have used this as a different one. No, it's not a coincidence. That's the whole point of it. That's why it works, is because 1.7 hours is 102 minutes. Right? This here has to be a fraction that equals 1. 60 minutes is 1 hour. Right? 102 minutes is 1.7 hours. This equals technically 1. Because if you were to convert this to hours, it would be 1.7. Is that making sense, Eli? And you're just multiplying by conversion factors. And as long as your conversion factor is equal to 1, it works. Right? This technically equals 1, and this technically equals 1 as well. It's just measured in different quantities. Like 1 foot, you know, is the same length as 12 inches. Let me look at it. 97. Yeah, it should work. You're just your time conversion factor you just used as 1.7 hours is equal to 102 minutes, which you had to do some math to figure that out probably. You probably didn't know 1.7 hours is equal to 102 minutes off the top of your head. But this here is the same thing. This is the same thing as 60 minutes equals 1 hour. Because this equals 1 and this equals 1. That's the whole point of the conversion factors. Any other questions on it? But yeah, Eli, that'll work if you do it that way. Yeah, it's the same. It's not the same. Like, it doesn't look the same, but they're equivalent fractions, so to speak. And it's weird because things aren't in the same units. So like 1 does not equal 60, but 1 hour equals 60 minutes. They are the same. So, all right. Let's move on to our next one. Hide that, show that. This one should be pretty easy. Give it a shot. Take a couple minutes. I didn't want to do that. Nope, didn't want to do that. There's my toolbar. There's my layers. Show the problem. There we go. Take a couple minutes and see if you can figure this one out. Again, we're dealing with miles per hour, and I want you to know how many feet you can travel in 22 minutes. Yeah, we're going to do all of them today, Catherine. So, however many you want to, we'll do them. So this is number 2. And if we don't finish them by 2 o'clock, if we don't finish it by 2 o'clock, we'll save it for Tuesday. So go ahead, see if you can set it up, see if you can do it. I think that's the only conversion factor you need to know. No, you need to know, again, you need to know that 1 hour equals 60 minutes, or if you're Eli, you're more than welcome to use 1.7 hours equals 102 minutes if you want. It doesn't matter which one you use because they're the same. It's still, they're both conversion ratios. Because this one does kind of have a different step to it. It's worded a bit different here. So you'll have to use some ratio stuff to solve this one in the end too. So hopefully you're setting this up right. You're traveling at 65 miles in 1 hour. You want to get this down to feet per minute. That's what it's saying. So it's asking you to get it to feet per minute. So again, you're going to have conversion ratios. We can do it in 2, right? One of them has to get rid of miles, and one of them has to get rid of hours. You can get rid of miles first. It tells you that 1 mile is 5,280 feet. You can get rid of hours next. Hours will go on top because it's on the bottom. See how miles are canceling? See how hours will cancel. I know 1 hour is 60 minutes. Could we aim for feet per 22 minutes? Yeah, that's what we're going for. I was just going to get it in minutes first and then get so the denominator is 22. If you already know how many, if you can make your denominator 22 now, if you know how many hours is 22 minutes, go right ahead. But you got to do some math to figure that out probably. I was just going to do that math at the end. Here you're going to get 65 times 5,280, and your denominator is going to be 60. That's going to be a minute, and we want your numerator to be 65 times 5,280. Means we are going 3,432,000 feet every 60 minutes. And you can reduce that, so this is a 1 if you want, or you can set up a proportion to solve for 22 minutes, but you want to rewrite this with a denominator of 22. That's your next goal, because then we'll get in 22 minutes. Right now this is going in 60 minutes. We want it in 22 minutes. So here you got some options on how to do it. Eli probably did it as a conversion ratio here. At least that's what he seems to be hinting to. but we're going to go ahead and make this here a unit rate if you want to do it that way. So what your options, let's just write out your options. You could do 3200 over 60, and you want this with a denominator of 22, and you can solve for x. You can use a proportion to go ahead and do that. Or you can take it out and do it with unit rate, where we actually divide this out. So I'm going to go ahead and divide that by 60, and I'm getting 5720 feet every 1 minute. And then you can take that to 22. Like, how many is that? And this math is a little easier. You just multiply it by 22. So we're just going to multiply this by 22 times 22, and you're going to get, here x is going to equal 125,840. Does that make sense? 123, 123. Yeah, it's a lot less than that. This one here, if we did it this way, 343,200 times 22 divided by 60 gives us the same thing. Yeah, just double checking it, making sure. 25840 still gives you the same thing. And then if you're Eli and you use this one here, you get what, 65 over 1 hour, 5280 feet over 1 mile, and use that conversion ratio for some reason. You get 1.7 hours over 102 minutes. This is going to equal 65 times 5280 times 1.7. Hopefully we're getting something similar in the end here. 83440 over 102 divided by 102. You're still getting 5720, which is this number up here, over 1. And this is, let's see, hours canceled. This was miles, wasn't it? Miles canceled. You got feet per minute. So even if you use that conversion ratio, you still get the same thing. And this here, unit is feet. So how many feet can she travel in 22? That, or technically the same number, but yeah. Either way you want to do it at the end there. Questions on that one? Oh, Catherine, that's a pound. That's an English pound. Money in England is measured in pounds, not dollars. So they use pounds as currency. But that's the next problem, so we'll look at that. I don't need any of that. Hide that. Look at that. Yeah, so this, I'm sorry, this strange symbol, that is an English pound. This is money of the UK. I just got rid of everything. Hold on, let me undo everything and bring it all back. Okay. Let's see, Catherine, you saying you got 15600 feet. How did you get 15600 feet? Double check the math on it. I'm going to do that in a second. 65 miles per hour times 5,280 feet per 1 mile. Evie, you're multiplying by this twice. You don't need to go back to hours on the bottom. You want minutes on the bottom. You went back to hours when you did the 22 minutes over 0.36 hours when you sat there and figured out this ratio. Is that how you did it? Yeah, because then you would be canceling out minutes here. So your option was to use 0.36 over 22 minutes. We'll get you something that still equals that. So your option was to use one or the other. Just watch your units, because if you multiplied by this, then you'll see minutes will also cancel out. Your last unit will be hours, and then this would be written in hours. So you solved for it in hours, which we had from the beginning, so it was kind of redundant on doing it. You just undid what you did before. But here, if you use this ratio down here, which again, you had to do some math to figure that out. You did not look that up somewhere, so I don't know how you came across that. This is common knowledge, so I figured you just use this ratio, but you could use that one just like you could use this one. You should still get the same fraction in the end. Well, yeah, this one here would actually, if you use this ratio here, you would get 22 on the bottom, and then your top would be the answer. So you should be getting this on top, if this is the correct ratio. I don't know, I didn't do it. 65 times 5280 times 0.36, and you get 1235552. This might be a bit rounded. I don't know. We can figure out what that ratio is. Right, 1 hour is 60 minutes. So how many minutes is, or how many hours is 22 minutes? 22 divided by 60 gives us, yeah, you rounded this number because this is repeating. So this number is going to be a bit rounded too. I don't know if I can do it with that, times 5280. Oh, I lost it. 22 divided by 60 times 5280 equals that times 65. Yeah, if you didn't round this, it would work. So, I mean, your difference is that you rounded it. If you didn't round it, you'd be getting that 5840 feet, which is what you want. In this case, you did this step here in the conversion ratio. So yeah, it would still work. Just I don't know how you got the 75504. Oh wait, that's because you multiplied it twice by this conversion ratio. You only need to do it once. Is everybody cleared up on that? Over here, did you still multiply by the 1 hour over 60 minutes is what I'm asking. It's one or the other. You do one of these, not both. So pick one to do. Again, we can add your 0.36 repeating equals 22 minutes over here, and that could be your conversion ratio. You pick one of these to multiply by. All of these are the same thing. So only use one of them. So then calculate this out again, because I just calculated it, and this is what I'm getting. And that's the answer. I don't know where your 7550400 is coming from. I don't know how you got that answer. If you set it up like this, this is the answer I'm getting. We don't need this part of it. Is my face in the way? Yeah, pretty much. Alright, I'm going on to the next one. And we'll save Indiana Jones for next week. Like I mentioned to Catherine, this strange symbol here is called a pound. So this equals an English pound. They will use pounds in Ireland too, even though this is an Irish question. In fact, Northern Ireland is part of the UK. So this is the currency in the UK or the United Kingdom. Right. So go ahead and give it a shot. I think these are the only two conversion ratios you need for this one. Kinda, do you know your British Isles? If this whole thing is the British Isles, this is Ireland, this is Northern Ireland, which is owned, my drawing is terrible, which is part of the UK. This is Wales. Scotland's over here doing something. This is England. This little dot here is the Isle of Man, if you've ever been there, right? So then you have the UK, which is England, Scotland, Wales, Northern Ireland. You have what's called Britain, which is this big island. That is the biggest island of the British Isles. So Britain is just Wales, England, Scotland, right? And then Ireland's its separate country. But it's not, but Northern Ireland is not part of it. And then if you put all the little islands in there, all of it combined is your British Isles. If you didn't know that, there's your little history lesson. So Meredith found some lace at a price of £4 per meter in Ireland that she liked, but was afraid she was paying too much for it. The same lace in the US would sell for about $6 a yard. Was she paying too much? So basically you got to see, well, how much is, well, actually you got a choice. You can either take $6 per yard and turn it into pounds per meter and then compare that. If it was more or less than 4, or you can take £4 per meter and turn it into dollars per yard and compare it in dollars. So this is a comparison problem. You can either compare it all in pounds per meter, or you can compare it in dollars per yard. Well, we'll just start with pounds per meter and go to dollars per yard. So here we have 4.0 pounds in 1 meter. You need pounds to cancel, and you need meters to cancel, but we'll do pounds first. This is my ugly pound sign. Pounds per meter to dollars. It tells me right here. I know $1 is 0.498 pounds. So now pounds will cancel, leave me with dollars. Over here I got to get rid of meters, so meters will go on top. I know it doesn't tell me. I got to figure out how many meters are in a yard. In fact, this is not even useful information. I'm not sure why I have that in there. I'm going to go look that up. And hopefully you know where to look that up too. 1 yard is equal to 0.91 meters. So yard 0.91 and 1. That should be good. Pounds will cancel, leave you with dollars on top. And meters will cancel, leave you with yards on the bottom. So how much is 4 pounds per meter in dollars per yard? Go ahead and multiply your numerators. Go ahead and multiply your denominators. Four times 0.91 is giving me a 3.64. Yes, pounds are money. Pounds are the currency of the UK. They also use them in Ireland because, well, they're not part of the European Union. Well, they are. They're not. They didn't adopt the euro. And then there's Brexit's happening. If you've followed Brexit, which is a catastrophe over there, and that's 0.498. So this here is your conversion of it. Well, how much is that? Divide that out. So 3.64 divided by 0.498. This is telling me it is $7.31, and that is rounded a bit per 1 yard. So 4.0 pounds per 1 meter is equal to $7.3 per 1 yard. So these are equal. Then you come back here and you look at, well, hey, where does $5.99 per yard? Is this cheaper or is this more expensive? You're just comparing to this number. And it is more because this is 7.31, which is a higher number than 5.99. So then you know that 4.0, having trouble drawing that, pounds per meter is more than dollars per yard. So this is more expensive. That's basically what we're getting to. So that is technically your answer, because it was just asking you to compare. Was she paying too much for it? Yeah, she's paying too much for it. And you can sit there and you can subtract the two to find out by how much, but it's not asking that. But she was paying too much. Real important skill to know if you're going to other countries that use different currencies, things like that. Know your exchange rates. Know how much your money is worth. Any questions on that one? We will do Indiana Jones on Tuesday. Monday is your virtual field day. So you gotta like do push-ups, jump rope, carry an egg on a spoon, throw water balloons at something. I don't know what you gotta do for field day, but that means there is no math and no science unless you choose on your own to do it. So keep that in mind. On Tuesday, we will continue with what's going on. You'll probably have a quiz sometime next week on just dimensional analysis, and it will probably be simple conversion stuff. The problems that I gave you yesterday and the problems that I gave you today are probably more than you need to know right now, but in my eyes, it's all the same thing, so I might as well teach you now as opposed to wait a year, teach you then wait another year, teach you again. But dimensional analysis, I probably will go over with you in, well, I know I do it in 7th grade just for math, and 8th grade I will do it for science. And in high school, you will go over this in probably a chemistry class at some point. So you will see a lot of this. Will you unlock the next chapter in science? I'm trying to this weekend. This weekend I'm going to try to get everything in there. What it's looking like is you're probably, for science, you're probably going to have key terms to do. You're probably going to have section assessments to do. And I'm going to ask you to do one project. There isn't going to be no quizzes. Am I in my head? Yeah, I'm kind of in my head. Let's just... so for science, by Tuesday, I should have everything up. Key terms for the chapter. It's chapter 20. So if you want to start, you're going to do key terms. You're going to do section assessments, and you're going to have one project, which I'm probably going to ask you to do it on some kind of celestial object. And that's going to be it. I'm not going to give you any, so no quizzes, no test, just key terms, section assessment, projects. And it's just going to be one project. And I will try to get it up for Tuesday. I still got some things, I still got some videos to make on it, so it's taking a little longer. Especially with all the strange stuff happening now towards the end of school. So, if you haven't finished the other chapter, keep working on it, but it'll get up. Any other questions, send me an email. Other than that, have a good weekend, and I'm getting off. I will talk to you Tuesday.